Should you start a trading card business? Is it easy to make money selling trading cards? Can you just get as much stock as you want and sell it and make loads and loads of money? I'm going to talk about a few of these points today. I've honestly made so many YouTube videos in the last few weeks and not posted them because I thought it was boring. But I thought now I'm just going to sit in front of the camera, talk and post to my YouTube as often as I can. No matter what I'm talking about, how many views they get, I don't care. I'm just going to talk. So our business at the minute, our TCG business, if people have been following us, we started with vending machines, then we started getting stock and selling online, and things were going really, really well. And everyone knows, or if you don't know, I mean, you're living under a rock. Trading cards and collectibles in particular recently have taken a huge boom. They've always been popular, but yeah, Pokemon specifically is crazy right now, and we just cannot get any stock. Now, recently we had thousands of pounds worth of Pokemon cards and other stock stolen from our office, and we literally just cannot replace the stuff. It is impossible to replace. Our distributors have nothing for us. We get like a case of each product to the newest sets. We get, I don't want to say frequent because they're not. Every now and again we get some back orders in of different stocks like Paldean Fates we've had recently, a little bit of 151, a little bit of Journey Together, but nowhere near enough English Pokemon card product to successfully run a business and remain consistent. And that is where we struggle a bit, due to the fact that if you're thinking about doing one of these businesses part-time, you've got to really consider where you're going to get your stuff from, where your margins are going to come from, how long you're going to stick at it, because as good as it seems and exciting as it is at first, it soon becomes incredibly frustrating with the stock situation at the minute. We've been doing this 2 years and I absolutely love it. But just the fact that you cannot get the stock just makes it incredibly difficult to remain consistent, especially with what's happened to us recently with the theft. Now, if you want to start a Pokemon card business or a trading card business and you're just expecting to get any stock that you want and sell it for easy profits, unfortunately, that is just not true. It is not the case. I've just been on our main distro account and tried to order some products, and there is literally nothing available to order. We are not allowed to order any Pokemon stock. It all displays as out of stock, and essentially we get told what we can buy. We don't get to choose how much we get. We just basically say yes or no to whatever they offer us, and obviously we say yes to all the Pokemon stuff, but it is super small amounts. So unfortunately at the minute, if you want to start a Pokemon TCG business, it is borderline impossible to just get sealed stuff from a distributor, unless you know a guy who knows a guy who knows, or some impossible way. Unfortunately, that's not possible. Now, I always say to people, if you want to start making some content, etc., and I'm such a hypocrite for that because I actually struggle to make content so badly. That's why I don't post very much, because I hate just banging on about clickbaity stuff like investing and how to make money. That's not what the stuff I like to make. I like to make stuff talking about the business, essentially, and unfortunately at the minute I can't make too many business orientated videos because we don't have any stock, and not too much is going on at Pokevend right now, just because we're very limited in what we can do sales wise and advertising and kind of content wise as well. So I thought I'll just talk about some general stuff, and today is about kind of starting your own business and is it possible. So of course it's possible to start your own Pokemon card business. Anyone can start, and I do still recommend people to start, but you have to have realistic expectations of how it's going to go. If you are going to buy on the secondary market and try rip and ships, you are going to have super small margins because you're already going to be buying at secondary market prices. And the thing is now, a year ago or so, you used to be able to go to people and say, if I buy X amount, I'll get 80% of what the value is because I'm buying so much. But now people just know that they can sell all of their sealed stuff for £100% worth of value. It is pointless anyone taking any reductions on any sealed Pokemon product because it is that in demand. They don't need to sell it. Even if you were buying £50,000 worth of stuff, you're not going to get it for 40 grand or 35 or even 45, even 47, because these people know that they can get the full 50 unless they're desperate for the cash and they want a quick and easy flip. They're going to hold out for that full amount, and you can't blame people. That's the situation, and that is also why we see such high pack prices on TikTok and other streaming platforms, is because people are going in, they're buying a Journey Together booster box for 180 quid. They're buying a Destiny Rivals booster box for 250 quid, and then they're selling the packs at £8, £9, £10 a pack to make some money. But people are buying it. People will buy the packs for these prices. We've seen it. You see it on these platforms all the time. However, these people who are selling for these prices, it looks like they're making loads of money, but they won't be because they've probably paid like well over the odds for booster boxes. Now, on the flip side, we buy literally 99% of our stuff from distro. So at the minute we are making some really good margins on products, and people must think, wow, they're making so much money. But the truth is we're really not. Yes, we're profitable. We make sure we're profitable because we're a business. We've got overheads and we have to be in a profit position because we're a business, right? As much as we want to give the best prices to people, etc., we have to be in a good profit position to make sure it's worth our while, make sure we're covering our bills, etc. So our business does turn a profit by charging market price or just below. We do offer a lot of stuff at retail still and below. But yeah, we really, from a business perspective, we should try and get every penny we can from our products. But to be fair, we don't do that on most of our products. We still offer discounts through the mailing list, products at retail price. For example, recently we had black and white ETBs, and I know for an absolute fact, I could have sold them all at £70-75 on TikTok. And we did sell 4 on there, I believe, out of the 20 we had. The other 16 I put on the website and I sold for retail as a nice gesture to the customer. I say a nice gesture. You're selling stuff at retail, but that is genuinely a nice gesture at this point because of how crazy the market is. But really, from a business perspective, for us, the smart strategy would be sell at full market price and get as much money as we can, because it's so hard to come across the products at the minute and basically get the profits to run the business. Now, essentially what happens for smaller accounts like us with our distribution, we'll get like a case of booster boxes every now and again, a case of ETBs every now and again, which is why you see products come in dribs and drabs to the store. I also add them in like quantities of like 2, 3, 4 of an item at a time, because I assure you, if I list anything on our shop at the minute for market or below, somebody will come in and buy all of that product. Literally, if I list 8 Paldean Fates tins at 45 a tin, and on eBay they're going for 45 a tin, I can almost guarantee you that they'll be sold within an hour. Someone will buy 4, someone will buy 6, or someone might buy 1 or 2, but they will just fly off the shelves. The demand for this product at the minute it's genuinely unbelievable. I cannot explain. I see it as a business, and to be fair, even just being the average consumer or collector, it's not rocket science to figure out that Pokemon is some of the hottest products around right now. And seriously, people will spend anything at the minute. A lot of that is largely to do with, as well, the investment side. People know now Pokemon is such a proven investment. Sealed Pokemon product is one of the safest investments you can make. People are flipping it. People are investing in it. People don't care if they're paying over retail. They do not care. 90% of people do not care what they're paying for the product, because they know if they're selling that product for a long enough amount of time, unless something drastically goes wrong, all the data over the years shows that sealed Pokemon products, no matter what it is, will rise by a specific percentage over time. So then you also have to think about how your business strategy and how you're going to operate your business. How are you going to please people, like your customers? How are you going to get people on your side and want them to buy from you? And honestly, that is the hardest situation we have found ourselves in recently. I really try to satisfy as many people as possible, to give customers good prices, but it is essentially impossible to please everyone at the minute. Some people say you should sell at retail so that in the future, customers will remember and come back and be like, oh, these guys sold at retail when everything was crazy, so I'm going to buy from them again. But I promise you now, if we list things at retail, it is not going to be a collector buying that product. It really isn't. It'll be potentially a bot. It'll be a flipper, an investor. There is literally no gain for us whatsoever in selling at retail from a business perspective or gaining customers. Maybe 1 in 20 of them orders would be from a customer who's going to come back in the future. But the other 19, they're probably in it just to buy and flip and make a profit off essentially our great prices. So that's the reason why now we sell a lot of stuff at market, because there is literally no benefit to selling stuff at retail for us from a business perspective. From a general perspective, it just doesn't work. And we want to grow, we want to make the sales through the website and through the TikTok shop, because that's how we're going to grow the business and get more customers. Even if they are paying the market price at the minute, then customers are going to come back. And that's the angle that we've had to work from, because it works for us and it works for the customer as well, because like I say, 90% of the people are more than happy to pay the market price, because they know that this, some people understand what's going on, in my opinion, and some people don't. A lot of people, I think, are kind of living in a bit of a dream world and a bit of a bubble, where they think that in a few months stuff's going to get heavily printed and it's going to all come crashing down. And that is just, in my opinion, is not going to happen. Sets are getting printed right now into the ground. Prismatic Evolutions getting printed constantly. Booster bundles just came back. There's a huge reprint of booster bundles everywhere, restocked. And the booster bundles, there was at 65 and they literally stayed at 65. You've got people waiting for these items to drop, but there's so much money on the sidelines, so much money people have got reserved waiting for that percentage drop, where when something does drop by 5%, it will not drop any further, because people, as soon as they see that drop, they'll go in. If something goes from 65 to 60, they'll buy 10, they'll buy 20, they'll buy as many as they can get just to save that 5%. There's no such thing at the minute as waiting for a 10-15% drop, because it's just not going to come on literally any products. That is my opinion. I could be wrong, but that is genuinely my thoughts on it. The product is just so unbelievably in demand. And you have to consider all these things when you're going to think about starting this sort of business, because there's not really an angle you can come in and get cheap stock or satisfy people easily with. If you're buying from the secondary market and you're like, I'm going to give cheap prices, it's impossible. You can't do it. You can give cheap air prices, maybe £9, £8, £7 a pack, £7 a pack maybe, if you're buying at £6 a pack. But really, making 36 quid a booster box if you're buying 2 or 3 boxes, you're going to make, what, 100 quid, then commissions and time and everything you put into it. People aren't going to persist with that. People think they will. I believe that some people think, yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to persist with it, but it's not that easy. We're finding it really tough at the minute. Again, super small TCG business, really hard to get hold of the product, and it is frustrating for us, and we're in a better position than so many other people because we're lucky enough to have these distro accounts, and we're struggling. Believe me, if we could go back to 18 months ago when you could buy basically not whatever you wanted, but you could get so much better quantities and make less money per item, we would go back to that situation in a heartbeat, because it's so much better for business, it's so much better for customers, it's so much better for me as a collector, it's just better all round. But yeah, unfortunately, I think them times for at least the near to mid-term future are gone, really are. Now on the content side, if you wanted to make content, some people want to make like the clickbaity stuff about like investing cards they think are going to rise in value, and I've tried making that stuff and I just do not enjoy it. I don't think there's anything wrong with making that sort of content, but it's just really not for me. I prefer more like in-depth businessy content, general conversation, maybe like some sort of predictions about, not like you should go buy this right now, or go do this, go do that. I don't really kind of like that kind of stuff. I like just general discussion. That's kind of what I like. And some people find it boring, but yeah, that's the sort of stuff that I watch on YouTube if I'm driving, brushing my teeth, cooking, which is rare. I have YouTube on and I just have background noise, listening to people talk about investing, listening to people talk about Pokemon business, listening to people talk about singles. I listen to all that stuff, but some of the stuff isn't what I want to make, and also a lot of people don't really find that just general talk interesting. But hopefully making these videos over the course of the next few weeks or whatever, I'm going to persist with them, and hopefully I can get a bit of an audience and just a bit of general conversation in the comments. And I don't really know what I'm aiming for, to be fair. I'm just kind of going to put some content out and see what happens. So I'm recording this video from home because I don't have any reason particularly to be in the office over the last couple of days. I had some orders to box up recently, but because we don't have that much available in our store right now, I'm not spending that much time in the office. And also another thing, if you're thinking about starting a business, if you have a job like I do, I'm self-employed, I do contracting, so every now and again I get contracts like I have at the minute, which means I've got a month of work where I'm working 10-hour days, 7 days a week, and that then means that my time that I can dedicate into the business is more limited. And with us having not that much stock, etc. at the minute, I'm not really spending much time in the office and focusing on bits that I should be, because genuinely just time is a huge factor in running a business such as this, which is something you obviously have to consider if you're thinking about starting up yourself. At first, I know like you're so giddy and you just can't wait, but when the problems do start to arise, it does kind of bring you down a little bit, and it brings your like motivation down for the business. But you've got to persist with it. So if you are someone who you believe will persist even when it's tough and you're in it for the long term, this is not a game at the minute where you can just, unless you're going to queue at Smith's and buy a couple of ETBs for 50 quid and sell them on straight away on Vinted or whatever to make a few quid straight away. I'm not talking about that kind of stuff. I'm talking about if you're in business long term, starting now would have its benefits. But yeah, if you're going to start now and expect like a get rich quick scheme or some easy business to grow, then unfortunately I think you'd be in the wrong game. I can't remember what I've spoke about for the last 5 or 6 minutes. I'm going to put all this together and put it on YouTube. Going forward, I'm going to make some structured videos talking about dedicated things, and hopefully, like I've mentioned, can gather a bit of an audience, more than 5 views of people who want to listen to me talk. I'll talk about some business stuff. I'll talk about my predictions if anyone cares about that. Like I say, there's no guarantees in this. Nobody knows what's going to happen. No one knows. If everyone knew, then we wouldn't be in this position in the first place. Nobody really knows what's going to happen. No one knows what Pokemon's going to do. So I'll continue making some videos and see what happens with them. So stay tuned for a few more. Hopefully I managed to bore someone to the end of this video, and I can create some content going forward that people genuinely want to listen to. See you in the next one. See you in a bit.